Alright, this is format of exam. You can expect 40 to 60 questions and passing score will be 700 out of 1000. This slide is related to Power Platform certifications. This is question number 1. You have a report that contains a bar chart and a column chart. The bar chart shows customer count by customer segment. The column chart shows sales by month. You need to ensure that when a segment is selected in the bar chart, you see which portion of the total sales for the month belong to the customer segment. How should the visual interaction be set on the column chart when the bar chart is selected? So the correct answer will be A, highlight. In most visuals, highlighting does not remove the unrelated data. Instead, it highlights the related data. The rest of the data remains visible, but it dimmed. Question 2. A user creates a Power BI report named Report A that uses a custom theme. You create a dashboard named Dashboard A. You need to ensure that Dashboard A uses the custom theme. The solution must minimize development effort. Which two actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Not each correct solution is worth 1 point. So the correct answer will be from Report A, save the current theme, and from Dashboard A, upload a JSON theme. Means B and E will be the correct answer here. Question number 3. You need to create a visualization that compares revenue and cost over time. Which type of visualization should you use? So we will use line chart. Why? Because there is comparison over time. Line charts can have many different lines. For example, both revenue and cost over time. You build a report to help the sales team understand its performance and the drivers of sales. The team needs to have a single visualization to identify which factor affects success. Which type of visualization should you use? So we will use key influencers. Key influencers will be the right answer here. The key influencer visual help you understand the factors that drive a metric you are interested in. It analyzes your data, rank the factor that matters, and displays them as a key influencers. For example, suppose you want to figure out what influences employee turnover, which is also known as churn. One factor might be employment contract length, and another factor might be commute time. Question 5. You have a report that contains 4 pages. Each page contains slicer for the same 4 fields. User report that when they select values in a slicer on one page, the selections are not persisted on other pages. You need to recommend a solution to ensure that users can select a value once to a filter the result on all the pages. What are 2 possible recommendations to achieve this goal? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. So correct answer will be replace the slicer with report level filter and sync the slicer across the pages. Means B and C will be the correct answer here. B, you can set filters at 3 different levels for the report: visual level, page level, or report level. And C, you can sync a slicer and use it on any or all pages in report. Question 5. You have a report that includes a card visualization. You need to apply the following conditional formatting to the card while minimizing design effort. For values that are greater than or equal to 100, the font of data label must be dark red. For values that are less than 100, the font of data label must be dark gray. Which type of format should you use? So we will use B, rules. B will be the correct answer here. Finding the conditional formatting in the visual is a bit tricky. There is no separate option for that. You need to go to the format tab of the visual and then expand the data label. The right beside the data label colors, you need to hover over your mouse and you will find 3 dots icon appearing, which if you click on it, you will see conditional formatting. Question 7. This is a drag and drop type question. You have a Power BI dashboard named Dashboard A that contains a tile named Tile A. Tile A contains a tree map visual from a report named Report A. You need to provide the users of dashboard A with conditional tiles and tiles that relate to the contents of tile A. Which 3 actions should you perform in sequence? To answer, move the appropriate action from the list of actions to the answer area and arrange them in correct order. So we have to select and place from this area. So the correct sequence will be from dashboard A, select the tile A option and then select view insight. After that, we will from focus mode we will review the generated visuals, and then from focus mode pin the relevant visual to the dashboard A. So sequence will be 3, 2, 1. From dashboard A, select the tile A option and then select view insights. From focus mode, review the generated visuals. From focus mode, pin the relevant visuals to dashboard A. So this is the correct answer. Question number 8. You are creating a dashboard by using the PowerBI service. You have an existing report page that contains 3 charts. You need to add the charts to the dashboard while maintaining the interactivity between the charts. What should you do? So we can pin the report page as a live tile will be the correct answer. D is the correct option here. One way to add a new dashboard tile is by pinning an entire report page. This is an easy way to pin more than one visualization at a time. Also, when you pin an entire page, the tiles are live. You can interact with them right there on the dashboard, and changes you make to any of the visualizations back in the report editor, like adding a filter or changing the label used in the chart, are reflected in the dashboard tile as well. Pinning live tiles from report to dashboard is only available in PowerBI service, means app.powerbi.com. Question 9. This is a drag and drop type question. You are using existing reports to build a dashboard that will be viewed frequently in portrait mode on mobile phones. You need to build the dashboard. Which 4 actions should you perform in sequence? To answer, move the appropriate action from the list of actions to the answer area and arrange them in a correct order. So we have to select and place from these options. So first we will do pin items from the reports to the dashboard. Then we can open the dashboard, and then we will edit the dashboard mobile view, and at the last we will rearrange, resize and remove items from the mobile layout. So this will be the correct sequence. Pin item, open the dashboard, edit the dashboard view, and then rearrange mobile layout, rearrange the items. So you can remember in this way: pin, open, edit and then rearrange. Question 10. You have a report that contains a donut chart and a clustered column chart. Interaction between the visuals, use the default setting. You need to modify the report so that when you select a column in the column chart, the donut chart redraws by using the data from the selected column. What should you do? So select the column chart and set the donut chart interaction to filter will be the correct option here. B is the right answer. Filter remove all data, but the data you want to focus on will be there. Note, enable the visual interaction control. We have to enable visual interaction control. This is question number 11. You are creating a Power BI report by using Power BI desktop. You need to include a visual that shows trend and other visual information automatically. The visual must update based on selections in other visuals. Which type of visual should you use? So we will use smart narrative visuals. B is the correct answer here. Smart narrative visualizations help you quickly summarize visuals and reports. It provides relevant, innovative insight that you can customize. Question 12. This is yes or no type question. Note, in this question is a part of series of questions that present the same scenarios. Each question in this series contain a unique solution that might meet the stated goal. Some questions that might have more than one correct solution, while others might not have a correct solution. So after you answer a question in this section in exam, you will not be able to return to it. As a result, these questions will not appear in the review screen. So here at start, you have a clustered bar chart that contains a measure named salary as a value and a field named employee as the axis. Salary is present in the data as numerical amount representing US dollars. You need to create a reference line to show which employees are above the median salary. As a solution, you create a constant line and set the value to 0.5. So does this meet the goal? Answer is no. Why? Because instead you create a percentile line by using the salary measure and set the percentile to 50%. The median is the middle value or the 50th percentile of a dataset. Question 13. You have a Power BI report hosted on PowerBI.com that displays expenses by department for department managers. The report contains a line chart that shows expenses by month. You need to enable users to choose between viewing the report as a line chart or a column chart. The solution must minimize development and maintenance effort. What should you do? So we will enable report readers to personalize visuals. A is the correct answer here. It will let users to personalize visuals in report. We have to enable personalization in report. You can enable feature either in Power BI desktop or the Power BI service. You can enable it in embedded reports as well. Question 14. You are building a Power BI report to analyze customer segments. You need to identify customer segment dynamically based on the bounce rate across dimensions such as source, geography, and demographics. The solution must minimize analysis effort. Which type of visualization should you use? So we will use key influencer in this case because they want to minimize the efforts. If we need to minimize the analysis effort, then a key influencer is the answer because they want to explain bounce rate by dimensions listed. Decomposition tree requires more effort as per Microsoft. This tool is valuable for ad hoc exploration and conducting root cause analysis. Question 15. You have a report that contains 3 pages. One of the pages contains a KPI visualization. You need to filter all the visualization in the report except for the KPI visualization. Which two actions should you perform? Each correct answer present part of the solution. Note each correct solution is worth 1 point. So we will add the same slicer to each page and configure sync slicers, and then we will edit the interactions of the slicer that is on the same page as KPI visualization. So B and C is the correct answer here. Slicer are another way of filtering the narrow the portion of the dataset that is shown in the other report visualizations. Control which page visuals are affected by slicers. Example, use visual interactions to keep slicer selections from the filtering this chart. Question 16. You use Power BI desktop to load data from a Microsoft SQL Server database. While waiting for the data to load, you receive the following error 08001 and timeout expired. You need to resolve the error. What are the 2 ways to achieve this goal? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note each correct solution is worth 1 point. So the correct answer will be disable query folding on long running queries and use Power Query to combine long running queries into one query. So B and D will be the correct answer here. Question number 17. You have a Power BI workspace named inventory that contains a dataset and a report and a dashboard. You need to add an additional tile to the dashboard. The tile must show inventory by location. This information is not visualized in the report. The solution must minimize the impact on the report. Which 2 actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note each correct selection is worth 1 point. So ask a question by using Q&A and pin the visualization to the dashboard, means A and C will be the correct answer here. In the Power BI service app.powerbi.com, a dashboard contains tiles pinned from one or more datasets, so you can ask questions about any of the data contained in any of these datasets. The answer to your question is displayed as an interactive visualization and update as you modify the question. Open a dashboard and place your cursor in the question box. Even before you start typing, Q&A displays a new screen with suggestions to help you form your question. Question 18. You have a Power BI report that contains 3 pages named page 1, page 2 and page 3. All the pages have the same slicers. You need to ensure that all the filters applied to page 1 apply to page 1 and page 3 only. What should you do? So sync the slicers on page 1 and page 3. See, you leave the correct option here. Sync the slicers on page 1 and page 3. Question 19. You have a Power BI tenant. You have requests that use financial dataset and are exported as PDF files. You need to ensure that the reports are encrypted. What should you implement? So we will implement sensitivity labels. When you create a sensitivity label, you can restrict access to content that the label will be applied to. When a document or email is encrypted, access to the content is restricted so that it can be decrypted only by users authorized by the label's encryption setting. Remain encrypted no matter where it resides, inside or outside your organization, even if the file is renamed. Question 20. You need to provide a user with the ability to add members to a workspace. The solution must use the principle of least privilege. Which role should you assign to the user? So we will assign member role because a member can add member or other with lower permissions. This is question number 21. In Power BI Desktop, you are creating a visualizations in a report based on an imported dataset. You need to allow Power BI users to export the summarized data used to create the visualization, but prevent the users from exporting the underlying data. What should you do? So we will do from Power BI Desktop, configure the report setting for the current file. D will be the right option here. The export functionality can be disabled on several levels. First, Power BI service admins can disable this functionality on tenant level, with nobody will be able to export the data. More about that later. Second, as a dataset owner, you can decide if you allow your users to export the data. This is managed in dataset setting but only changeable in Power BI Desktop. Question 22. You create a dashboard by using the Microsoft Power BI service. The dashboard contains a card visual that shows total sales from the current year. You grant users access to the dashboard by using the viewer's role on the workspace. A user wants to receive daily notification of the number shown in the card visual. You need to automate the notification. What should you do? So we will create a subscription. A will be the right option here. You need a subscription, not an alert, as alert does not include a snapshot and they will only be sent based on a certain condition, whereas where you want daily notification, not just when the value exceeds a certain threshold. So create a subscription will be the right answer here. Question 23. This is a yes or no type question. Note this question is part of series of questions that present the same scenarios. Each question in the series contains a unique solution that might meet the stated goals. Some questions might have more than one correct solution, while others might not have a correct solution. After you answer a question in this section, you will not be able to return to it. As a result, this question will not appear in the review screen in exam. Here it starts. You have 5 reports and 2 dashboards in a workspace. You need to grant all organization users read access to 1 dashboard and 3 reports. As a solution, you publish an app to the entire organization. So does this meet the goal? So answer is no, it will not meet the goal. Instead, you create an Azure Active Directory group that contains all the users. You share each selected report and the 1 dashboard to the group. Question 24. This is a hotspot. You have a Power BI model that contains a table named sales and a related date table. The sale contains a measure named total sales. You need to create a measure that calculates the total sales from the equivalent month of the previous year. What should you complete? How should you complete the calculation? To answer, select the appropriate option in the answer area. Each correct selection is worth 1 point. So from here we have to mark these answers. So these are the correct answer. First, sales previous year is going to calculate, then total sales is equal to same period last year, and then date. Same period last year accepts the data column. Month will usually be either text or integer. So it will become calculate total sales, same period last year, and then date. Question 25. This is a drag and drop type question. You plan to create a report that will display sales data from the last year for multiple regions. You need to restrict access to individual rows of the data on a per region basis by using roles. Which 4 actions should you perform in sequence? To answer, move the appropriate action from the list of actions to the answer area and arrange them in correct order. So we have to select and place from here. So how we will proceed? First we will import the data to PowerBI desktop, then we will create a role definition, and then we will publish the report and we will assign users to the role. So this will be the correct answer. Import the data to PowerBI desktop, create a role definition, publish the report, and then assign users to the role. You can remember in this way: import, then create, publish, and then assign. Question 26. You have a Microsoft Power BI report. The size of PBIX file is 550 MB. The report is accessed by using an app workspace in shared capacity of PowerBI.com. The report uses an imported dataset that contains one fact table. The fact table contains 12 million rows. The dataset is scheduled to refresh twice a day at 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. The report is a single page that contains 15 app resource visuals and 10 default visuals. Users say that the report is slow to load the visuals when they access and interact with the report. You need to recommend a solution to improve the performance of the report. So what should you recommend? We will recommend split the visuals onto multiple pages. D will be the right option here. Split the visuals onto multiple pages. One page with many visuals may also make your report loading slow. Please appropriately reduce the number of visualization on a page. Question 27. This is a yes or no type question. Note this question is part of series of questions that present the same scenarios. Each question in the series contains a unique solution that might meet the stated goals. Some question sets might have more than one correct solution, while others might not have a correct solution. After you answer a question in this section, you will not be able to return to it. As a result, these questions will not appear in the review screen in exam. So here it starts. You are modeling data by using Microsoft Power BI. Part of the data model is a large Microsoft SQL Server table named order that has more than 100 million records. During the development process, you need to import a sample of the data from the order table. As a solution, from Power Query Editor, you import the table and then add a filter step to the query. So does this meet the goal? Answer is no, it will not meet the goal. This will load the entire table in the first step. Instead, you add a where clause to the SQL statement. Question 28. Same question but different solution. So we will read from here. This part is same. You are modeling data by using Microsoft Power BI. Part of the data model is a large Microsoft SQL Server table named order that has more than 100 million records. During the development process, you need to import a sample of the data from the order table. As a solution, you write a DAX expression that uses the filter function. Does this meet the goal? Of course no, because we need where clause to the SQL statement. DAX is not a language designed to fetch the data like SQL rather than used for data analysis purpose. It is always a better and recommended approach to transform the data as close to the data source itself. For example, your data source is a relational database, then it's better to go with TSQL. Question 29. Again, same question but solution will be different. This time we will read solution directly. Here in this solution, you add a where clause to the statement, to the SQL statement. So does this meet the goal? Yes, this is the correct answer, because their data is residing on SQL Server, right? So we'll use SQL statement with where clause. Power Query enables you to specify your native database query in a text box under advanced options when connected to a database. In the example below, we will import data from a SQL Server database using a native database query entered in the SQL statement text box. So this is question number 30. In Power BI desktop, you are building a sales report that contains two tables. Both tables have a row level security configured. You need to create a relationship between the tables. The solution must ensure that bi-directional cross-filtering honors the RLS setting. What should you do? So we will create an active relationship between the tables and select apply security filter in both directions. So B will be the correct option here. By default, row level security filtering uses single directional filters. Whether the relationships are set to single direction or bidirectional, you can manually enable bidirectional cross filtering with row level security by selecting the relationship and checking the apply security filter in both directions checkboxes. Question 31. Note this question is part of series of questions that present the same scenarios. Each question in this series contains a unique solution that might meet the stated goals. Some question sets might have more than one correct solution, while others might not have a correct solution. After you answer a question in this section, you will not be able to return it. As a result, this question will not appear in the review section in exam. You have a Power BI report that imports a date table and a sales table from an Azure SQL database data source. The sales table has the following date, foreign keys: due date, order date, and delivery date. You need to support the analysis of sales over time based on all the date foreign keys. As a solution for each date foreign key, you add inactive relationships between the sales table and date table. So does this meet the goal? Answer will be yes, this will meet the goal. And later we will use relationship function to calculate different measures. Question 32. Again, it will start from here. You have a Power BI report that imports a date table and a sales table from an Azure SQL database data source. The sales table has the following date foreign keys: due date, order date, delivery date. You need to support the analysis of sales over time based on all the date foreign keys. As a solution, from Power Query editor, you rename the date query as due date. You reference the due date query twice to make the queries of order date and delivery date. So does this meet the goal? Answer is no, it will not meet the goal. Instead, from the field pane, you rename the date table as due date. Use the DAX expression to create order date and delivery date as calculated tables. Question 33. A similar question in this series, so we'll directly jump to solution. They are saying you need to support the analysis of sales over time based on all the date foreign keys. As a solution, from the field pane, you rename the date table as due date. Use a DAX expression to create order date and delivery date as calculated table. Yes, this will meet the goal. We have seen in previous question also, this is the correct solution, so it will be yes. This is a refactoring methodology. Question 34. You are creating a Power BI model that contains a table named store. Store contains the following fields: store ID, store name, city, state, province, and country, and this is their data types. You plan to create a map visual that will show store locations and provide the ability to drill down from country to state, province to city. What should you do to ensure that the locations are mapped properly? So we will set the data category of city, state, province, and country. This will ensure that locations are mapped correctly. C is the correct option here. A hierarchy is a set of fields and categorized in a hierarchical way that one level is the parent of another level. Values of the parent level can be drilled down to the lower levels. Question 35. So this is instructions. I will not read this time. So it will start from here. You have 5 reports and 2 dashboards in a workspace. You need to grant all organization users read access to 1 dashboard and 3 reports. As a solution, you assign all the users the viewer role to the workspace. So does this meet the goal? No, this will not meet the goal because you are assigning to all of the user viewer role, right? In this way, all users will see all workspace content, not only the 1 dashboard and 3 reports. Hence, this is wrong solution. Question 35. You create a report by using Microsoft Power BI Desktop. The report uses data from a Microsoft SQL Server Analysis Services, means SAS Cube, located on your company internal network. You plan to publish the report to Power BI service. What should you implement to ensure that users who consume the report from the Power BI service have the most up-to-date data from the cube? So we will use on-premise data gateway, right? P is the correct option here. After you install the on-premise data gateway, you need to add data source that can be used with the gateway. You can work with gateways and SQL Server analysis services, data sources that are used either for scheduled refresh or for live connections. Question 37. You have 5 sales regions. Each region is assigned a single salesperson. You have an important data set that has a dynamic role level security, role named sales. The sales role filter sales transition data by salesperson. Salespeople must see only the data from their region. You publish the dataset to PowerBI.com. Set RLS role membership and distribute the dataset and related reports to salesperson. A salesperson report that she believes she should see more data. You need to verify what data the salesperson currently sees. What should you do? In that case, use the test as a role option to view the data as a salesperson user account. A will be the correct option here. To be able to see what the specific salesperson sees and compare it to what she should see, you should test the report as the user account, since RLS is dynamic and based on the user accounts. Question 38. This is a drag and drop type question. Once the profit and loss dataset is created, which 4 actions should you perform in sequence to ensure that the business unit analyst see the appropriate profit and loss data? To answer, move the appropriate actions from the list of actions to the answer area. This is our answer area, and arrange them in correct order as well. So what will the correct order? First we will, from Power BI desktop, we will publish the dataset to PowerBI.com. Then from Power BI desktop we will create 4 roles. After that, from Power BI desktop we add a table filter DAX expression to the roles, and then from PowerBI.com we will add role members to the roles. Hence this is the correct sequence. From Power BI desktop, publish the dataset to PowerBI.com. From Power BI desktop, create 4 roles, and then from Power BI desktop add a table filter DAX expression to the roles, and then from PowerBI.com add role members to the roles. So you can remember in this way: publish dataset, then create role, add table filter DAX, and then add members to the role. Question 39. In Power BI desktop, you are creating a visualizations in a report based on an imported dataset. You need to allow Power BI users to export the summarized data used to create the visualization, but prevent the users from exporting the underlying data. What should you do? So we will do, from the Power BI service, configure the dataset permissions. B is the correct option out of these. You have Azure SQL database that contains sales transactions. The database is updated frequently. You need to generate reports from the data to detect fraudulent transactions. The data must be visible within 5 minutes of an update. What should you configure? The data connection. So we'll set the data connectivity mode to direct query. Right? Why direct query? Because they want to see the data within few minutes. With Power BI desktop, when you connect your data source, it is always possible to import a copy of data into the Power BI desktop. For some data sources, an alternative approach is available. Connect directly to the data source using direct query. If you want free PDF of this video, please subscribe to our channel and mail us answer the next 2 questions. Please send your answers at certyIQ@gmail.com. So this is question number 1. You create a report by using Microsoft Power BI desktop. The report uses data from Microsoft SQL Server Analysis Services (SAS Cube) located on your company's internal network. You plan to publish the report to the Power BI service. What should you implement to ensure that users who consume the report from the Power BI service should have the most up-to-date data from the cube? Question number 2. You need to create a visualization that compares revenue and cost over time. Which type of visualization should you use? This is the 40 important question. If you want complete dump of PL-300, or previously it is known as DA100, means Power BI certification, please drop us a mail at certyIQ@gmail.com. Please find videos of other Microsoft related exam series on our certyIQ YouTube channel. Thanks for